Motion crosses the garden, and the security light snaps on by itself. This is how to wire outdoor lights, the weatherproof, motion-sensing, dusk-to-dawn kind that lives out in the rain. On screen is the finished diagram, drawn and lit. Outdoor is not just an indoor light dragged outside. Water changes everything. A PIR sensor changes everything. And a permanent live wire changes everything. Stay with me. You'll see what makes outdoor different, how the supply gets out there, and the one-wire motion sensor needs that never switches off. So what makes outdoor different? 3 things, and they all come back to weather. First, water. Every outdoor fitting has to be IP-rated, sealed against rain and dust. Cable enters through a gland that grips and seals it. Any joins live inside a weatherproof box, never a bare connector block hanging in the wet. Second, protection. The moment power leaves the house, an RCD, a GFCI in North America, stops being optional. It watches for current leaking to earth through a wet fault and cuts the supply in milliseconds. That is what stands between a damp fitting and a real shock. Third, the cable itself. A run buried across the garden wants proper cable, steel wire armored, or another suitably rated type. Bury it to a safe depth and lay warning tape above it. So the next person with a spade gets a warning, not a surprise. IP-rated fittings. An RCD, the right cable. Get those 3, and the rest is just wiring. Quick pause. The circuit in this video is free to open in your browser at CircuitDiagramMaker.app. No install, no sign up. The link is in the description. Open it and follow along. Right, getting power outside. First job, get a supply out to the light. There are 2 clean ways. You can take a fuse spur off a nearby socket or lighting circuit. That is a switched fuse connection unit giving your outdoor run its own small fuse. Or you run a dedicated circuit straight from the consumer unit on its own protected way. Either way, it should sit behind that RCD. Now the simplest outdoor light, just a lamp on a switch. It wires exactly like an ordinary light. A switch live goes out to the fitting, the neutral runs home, and the earth bonds to the metal body of the lamp. If that part feels familiar, it should. It is the single-pole light switch, covered in its own video. Outside, the fitting is sealed and the earth matters more, but the circuit is the same. Now, the part everyone gets wrong. The PIR motion sensor. A PIR is not a switch. You do not just break the live with it. It is a power device with electronics inside that have to run all the time. So it needs 3 wires coming in, a permanent, always-on live, a neutral, and an earth. That permanent live keeps the sensor awake, watching around the clock. Then it has a 4th wire going out, a switch live. When the PR sees movement, it closes internally and sends power out on that wire to the lamp. No motion, and the switch live is dead, so the light is off. Here is the mistake. Wire a PR off a switch live, say, downstream of a wall switch. Every time that switch goes off, the sensor loses power completely. It cannot watch for anything. Give a PR a permanent live. Then, if you want manual control, add an override switch that forces the lamp on. 2 more pieces, and your outdoor lighting is complete. A photocell, also called dusk to dawn. It is a little light sensor that only lets the circuit work after dark. Bright out, it holds the light off. Dark out, it allows it on. Pair it with a PIR, and the light only triggers at night, exactly when you want it. Running floodlights, or several heads at once. Wire them in parallel. Each fitting sits straight across the same supply. So everyone gets the full voltage and full brightness. The same parallel wiring behind every light in your house. And run the earth through to every metal fitting, one after another. No exceptions outdoors. One safety line, it matters more here. This video explains the circuit and the diagram. Outdoor and fixed wiring is notifiable and regulated in many places. So for the fixed supply, follow local codes and use a qualified electrician. Now let us see it live in a browser. This is the free editor at CircuitDiagramMaker.app with a real light circuit open. Trace one branch. The supply drops in through protection. The live runs to the switch. The switch feeds the lamp, and the neutral runs home with an earth for safety. That is the backbone your outdoor light is built on. Every wire here is a real electrical connection, not just a drawing. Select any part, and its properties appear on the right. And you can build one from scratch. Search the library, breaker, switch, light, ground. Click to place each one, press W for the wire tool, and click pin to pin. The wires route themselves at clean right angles. And here's the part one love. It simulates. Hit Simulate, choose DC operating point, and run it. The built-in engine solves the whole circuit and drops the real numbers straight onto the diagram. Voltage on the live side. Current through the lamp. The current flows down the live, through the closed switch, into the light, and back on the neutral. Open the switch, and the path breaks. No current, no light. Real physics, right in the browser. So here's the whole thing, one more time. Outdoor means IP-rated fittings, an RCD, and proper buried cable. Get the supply out on a fused spur or its own way. A simple light is switched live, neutral, earth. And a PIR motion sensor needs a permanent live, never just a switched one, plus a photocell for dusk to dawn. Want it to stick? Open the circuit free in your browser, run the simulation, and rewire it until every wire makes sense. The link is in the description. No install, no credit card. New to lights? Watch the light switch and the LED wiring videos next. And subscribe for a new wiring diagram explained every week. See you in the next one.